All right, today, oh my God, I don't even know what we're working on. Uh, '05 F 350, 450, F something or another. Came in just like this with lens off of it, back pulled off of it. Let's see here. Well, let's get it apart a little further than it is. Looks like they've done a lot of my work for me here. It says that the windows aren't working. Radio quits working. And all that good stuff. So it's got these little clips that hold this board on. Basically just have to get these clips released and the board will come out. Like so. And I hadn't worked on one of these in a minute, so let me go grab my power plug for those. 05-ish area. Oh, that's E350. We need F350. 407. Nope, that goes there. I got everything misplaced in here. I believe this one's going to be it. No, wrong one. Alright, I'll put y'all on standby while I'll hunt. Found it. This bad boy right here. Let's see what we got going on. I damn sure got a few LEDs working. Those are bright. Whew. Let's see if just changing these polarity makes them come on. Nope. So we've got about half of this panel that's not lit up. Oh, yeah, that one just needed a polarity change. And that one. Come on, get out of there. And that one. Okay. Okay. The lighting issues have been resolved. Okay, these are all the background lights in this sucker. And I may have to pull them just to work on this thing because they are bright, bright. The rest of these, I think I'm going to go ahead and change out to bulbs for him. That doesn't sound like a cool thing to do in one way, but the other thing is I don't know the polarity on those, and these are just idiot light bulbs, the warning lights. So what most people do when they put these things together like this with the LEDs is they're either trying for a color change or they're trying to brighten up his cluster, and he certainly brightened up his cluster. However, these bulbs, they don't matter. They shine through a prism of colored lenses, so these aren't going to matter. So I'm going to go ahead and replace those with bulbs. This is a cruise control light down here. Alright, now try and get this thing to act up. let's see if we can manipulate it and get it to act funny. And it does act a little funny with this one, the black plug. And we got the display to go completely off there, and the thing to completely reset. So we'll get over on the other bench, start looking at some things now that I am blind. Oh my god. Whoops. I don't have our other bench set up yet. Hang on. Alright, we're all set up over here now. Let's see if we can twist this a little bit so I'll get even. Drives me crazy when things aren't even. Alright, so what we're going to be looking at are these header pins along here. Verify that. So let's go number 4, switch, focus. Nothing jumping out and grabbing me there. I'll grab my little pick and see what we can do with that particular pin. Where is the pick? It's still pretty solid. Yeah, I'm seeing I can't condemn those header pins, so I'm going to keep looking for other known issues. Switch it back over here to this one so you can watch me search. Alright, other known issues on this board. Oh yeah, this is the one with these arrays and through here that really start to act up, and manipulating these puts tension on the board and you get them to act up all the time. Alright, so all of these will be under the microscope. Okay, these are very tiny. Remember this little thing here, how tiny that is. I'm going to put it next to that. It almost covers it up. So this is all done underneath the microscope. So let's switch back over. I'm gonna prep it first. We'll go ahead and do those. Oops, wrong flux. Get the Amtech on this. Do this one. And these are tiny. Grandpa's soldering iron is not going to work with those. Alright, let's get over here and get under this so we can see what the heck we're doing. And we'll be using the tiniest solder that I have as well. We're going to need a little better focus. Let's go find one of them little farts. All the way down here, should be one right there. Alright. And this is zoomed in pretty good. I'm going to try to do this in the camera. And I'm not that great at depth perception in the camera. I usually do these with 2 eyes in the microscope, and you maintain your depth perception easier that way. Alright, there's one of them. See if we can find the other one. This is the one that usually is the problem. Now, that being said, this is a Ford, and they have a host of issues, so we'll do those header pins that we were looking at earlier. We'll do those prophylactically, because as soon as you don't, it'll turn out that that was a problem as well. That's what we call a bridge. Don't want those, so. These pins have to remain independent. Oh. I was cheating, I was looking around it. Alright. That's got all the tiny stuff that we're going to do. In case you're wondering about the width of the solder. It's bigger than a hair, but it's tiny stuff. This is the size of the solder that I normally use. Now we're going to go back and get some stuff on the side. This big old honking resistor. It's a standard resistor, but it looks big and honking after doing that. Little tiny stuff. And sometimes hit this crystal down here. I'm not sure if it's ever been confirmed that it's ever been a problem, but it's important. So we go ahead and hit that while we're at it. Now, these relays are notorious in Fords. Battery saver relays, etc. So on the back here, we're going to go over everything that's of significance, okay? So any through-hole stuff, through-hole stuff that's a bigger component, it vibrates around, causes cracks on these solder joints, and might as well just get them done. I have no idea if my big head's in the way or not. It is, isn't it? Trouble is, the older I'm getting, the closer I got to get to this stuff. Try to keep my head out of your way, but I got to see what I'm doing. Get this other header pin here. Some advice I can give you about soldering: get in a position of comfort. So like right here, this is easy for me. Got both forearms on the table. Get good vision, and that makes your life a lot easier. Don't want to bridge any of these together. It is the same thing as crossing two wires together in your car that shouldn't be. So you make sure you maintain the gap in between the pins. Move your board around while you're soldering so that you can get in a position of comfort. Reposition it as needed. Boom. Oh, we got relay over here on this side too. This isn't the board in particular that gives all the trouble with the relay, but you might as well hit it. That looked cracked right there. What is that on the other side? That is a big old coil. No, I don't think that's the coil. That's the capacitor next to it. But it's much happier now. Go ahead and do that coil. Alright. The rest of it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And should be good. Now let's go see if I know what I'm talking about. Two. Power back up. See if we can make any of those weird reactions I was getting earlier. This is kind of dim, but I think it's, you can't even see it on the camera, but I think it's because of all of these. Yeah, it's still looking pretty dim even when I cover those up. And let me look in here. Man, that shit's blinding. Okay, so let's play with this and see if we can get the same reaction out of this thing that we were getting, and the answer to that is no. Looking pretty stable. Alright, I think we got that. Go ahead and we gotta unplug these in order to get the board back in. Thank God we have to unplug it because those things are bright. Oh, I was gonna go ahead and change these out. So this is what I'm suspecting. This guy didn't know how to install LEDs, and he got the polarity wrong on well more than half of them. So, that being the case, and me not having the vehicle here to continue to test this thing back and forth, we're just going to put the bulbs back in these. That way it for sure works, instead of guessing. I said these are like seat belt lights and all kinds of stuff. Easy way to test those to make sure they're operational and good bulbs is just go over each of them like this. So there we go. Oh. I got that one in there good. Yep, there we go. Okay, there it goes. And this one, yep, all good. Alrighty. Oh, these bolts back in there. Okay. Alright, folks, well, it seems to be this guy brought in a Ziploc baggie with all the needles and everything. And I cannot find that Ziploc baggie to save my life despite turning the shop completely upside down. Fortunately, I'm equipped for just such an occasion. And I seem to have found a set of needles that I believe are the same style and look appropriate, if nothing else. So crisis averted. You know what, I shouldn't have put that on yet because I haven't checked those needles to see the placement is correct. So let's get this back off. That serves me right. I didn't have to take it apart, so I thought I was getting away with something, not having to take one apart for a change since the customer had already done it for me. Alright, let's see what we got here. If we got even close. Oh, man, I gotta get y'all up higher or something. Keep hitting that with my head, which probably means my head's in the way quite often. Alright, let's power it up. $381,000 miles. And we appear too high on this one and too low on just about everything else. So that one's pretty much okay. This one's low. You never adjust the needles with the power on. I know I am doing that right now. That's okay. But thing is, I'm going straight off with them and going straight back on with them. Actually, these look off in the camera, but they look good from where I'm sitting. Yeah, those look okay where I'm sitting. Camera's not, it's got a weird angle going on or something. Anyway, so that looks good. We'll cycle power, check it, make sure they settle in the right spots. Gas gauge is still way high. What the hell with the gas gauge? Alright. That one looks a bit high too. Alright, it doesn't look as low in person as it does in the camera, so we're going with it. Doesn't look low at all in real life. So, there you have it. Keeping old Fords alive. Keep them out of the junkyard for another day. Sometimes it's like an old dog, you just ought to put them down, but nobody wants to. Anyway, I drive a Chevrolet, so I can talk trash. My son, one of them, drives a Ford. And there is a little bantering back and forth. So Brandon, that one was for you. Backing put on. I'm not showing y'all how that goes because the customer's name's on the back of it. But there's not much to it. A little plastic cover that goes on and just kind of clips down in place. You're not missing nothing. So there we go. Doing my thing to keep the old Ford alive. So I did my thing, you do your thing. Get down there in the buttons and like and subscribe. So as always, if that was a little over your head, and that might have been because that one was a little bit of micro soldering, and if you don't have a microscope, I got you covered. We're here. Anytime you need us, just give us a holler. And yeah, I'm running late. Supper's on the table, I'm sure. And I'll hope. And I'm gonna go get it.